it's like to give up a touchdown? It's been a while. How's the defense been able to do what you guys have done? I mean, 3 points each the last 3 games is something pretty phenomenal no matter what level of football you're playing.
I think each week we all go in with the same mindset of wanting to get better, want to dominate our opponents, and credit to our coaches of, they do a great job of scouting our opponents, putting us in the right plays, and maximizing our talents and just going out executing each week. So it's worked out this past 3 weeks pretty good.
Quinn, give us a Furman scouting report.
Thing with Furman, they're a pretty good team. Show a lot of different formations and stuff, so you never know what you may get. And we got to focus in and be ready for anything, and play our football.
Here's a team that's coming in with 3 straight losses.
Yes, sir. But at the end of the day, teams, some teams play bad, and each week you can't prepare for the team based off their last performance. You just have to prepare for them now and be ready.
Being a captain, leader of the defensive unit, the last year and this year, what have you noticed differently about this year's team so far?
I think overall as a team, the leadership has stepped up a lot from offense, defense, special teams, just all over. It's like I think the players have to take more responsibility of, we see problems going on with the team, we take it in our hands to handle it rather than going to the coaches. And it's just the leadership overall, and everybody know we want what's the main goal, and being focused throughout the year in practice, in the game, and everything's starting to take care of itself.
What specifically have you done to get better year by year, and particularly coming into this year, you individually? I know you probably don't like to talk about yourself, you're a team guy, but what are the differences? I mean, you're on all the watch lists and everything else.
Okay. I think during the off season, meet up with my coaches and stuff, and ask them what I need to improve on, or my weaknesses and stuff like that, and I take it to heart and whatnot, and I really focus on what the coaches tell me I need to improve on, and all throughout the summer made a commitment to come every workout, work on a few things here and there, and I think overall from my years here, from freshman year to now, my knowledge of the game is far more better than it was in the past. Like, not only did I just go out and play football, I understand what I need to do to, exactly what the coaches want from me. So I think that helped me play better than I have in the past.
Well, give me your strengths and weaknesses.
Well, I'll give you my strengths. I think my decision making in certain situations, like knowing what an offense can potentially do before the ball is snapped, kind of give me an advantage on my playmaking ability, and just the speed, and I kind of I guess people underestimate my strength too, but other than that, that's about it. Just my knowledge of the game, and realizing that teams may know a lot about me, know a lot about the team, but that doesn't mean that they'll be able to be successful in stopping us or stopping me at all. So just constantly trying to find little keys here and there to be successful out on the field.
Is it difficult, perfect record, national ranking and all that, not to get too cocky?
I wouldn't say so, because that's not what we focus on. We go in each week focusing on our opponent, focus on the task at hand. So you really, if you walk around campus, you probably won't hear anybody talking about, hey, Coach Carolina 5-0, or we, nationally ranked, because that's not what we focus on. That's not the main goal. Like, the main goal is to compete at national level, win a national championship. That's what everybody focus is right now.
Guys, looking at Furman's last 3 matchups, have all been one-possession games. It seems like no matter whether this team's 5-0 or 2-3 like they are, you can't overlook them. How fun is it to go against these guys?
Well, Furman's always a good team each year, and they're ranked 10th, I believe, in total defense, so they have a very good defense. And as an offense, that's exciting to go up against. It's exciting to go up against a team who has a good defense, because you can kind of see where the bar's set at, and you can kind of see where you are overall as an offense right now. So that's exciting for us to go in, and we're going to go in and we're going to try and execute, and we're going to go out there and have fun and do what we do.
I know Coach Patton has been frustrated by the turnovers. What's practice been like this week addressing that? How's he gone about making a point of that to you guys?
Well, the scout defense has really been focusing on trying to strip the ball, and the focus has been holding the ball high and tight, and whenever we have the ball, just have it protected so that the other team can't get it out. And the coaches have done a good job focusing on that this week, and I think that's going to help us throughout the season.
Can you give us your vantage point on this defense and why you guys are playing so well these last 3 weeks?
Well, I mean, our coaches get on us, they get on us about swinging to the ball, playing hard, playing fast. And, I mean, even if you mess up, play hard, you still play hard, play fast. It makes up for like a mistake. So I mean, really, just play hard, just play football.
Have you surprised yourselves at all with this run of 3 straight 3-point games?
It's really surprising.
What are your expectations as you look toward this Furman game this week? I know you've had a chance to look at them with the coaching staff.
Well, expecting run and pass. They run quite a bit of formations, so expecting probably just going to try to run the ball on us first, but expecting to pass a lot too.
Talk about the progress of the secondary and how far you guys think you've come from last year.
I see a big difference in the secondary. I don't know. We worked real hard in the off season.
Alex, what did that second half do for you? Just seeing it all come together like that and being able to finish on a high like that?
It showed us what we can do as an offense. You know, we've kind of been a little bit slow this year as far as offense. Some games better than others, but when the offense plays like they can play, no one can stop us. We're the only ones who can stop ourselves, and we've been doing that a little bit this season. I feel like we're about to start taking off as a group.
Alex, as much as you can tell me, let's talk about Furman and attacking their defense this week.
Furman's athletic. We got to go out there as an offense, and we got to make plays. If we execute the offense that we run, we're gonna be all right. You know, it's always about executing the offense that we run, and if we execute it against anyone in the country, I believe as an offense we'll have a good game. So there's some things that we're gonna attack Furman on that are different from other teams. That's the game plan. But I don't really want to go over that with you guys yet. So we're just going to go out there and we're going to execute our offense.
And you were a leading rusher last week.
Yeah.
You gonna start running a little bit more like that? Hey.
If they call replays, then I'm ready to make the read and I'm ready to run the ball. And when I pull the ball, I'm going to try and run it like a running back, but I'm going to try and get down and protect myself a little better.
Anything else for these two guys?
Yeah, just one last thing. Just where do you think you're at right now? You said you're ready to take off now. I mean, not too bad what you've done so far, but what do you mean by that?
I feel like we've been getting a little bit better each game this season, and we're definitely moving up. And you want to start peaking, I believe, right before conference play, and conference play is coming up. And so as an offense, I feel like we're about to start peaking as an offense.
Thank you, Mike. Guys, you have questions? You want a quick run through on Elon?
Yeah, overall team performance on that one, how would you assess that game?
I think it was the best performance we've had as a team so far this season to date, number one. Number two, from a defensive perspective, even though we had the 3 points, 3 days, three games in a row, I think that was our best overall defensive performance. Remember last week I said I had concern about their quarterback being able to throw the ball and break containment and move around a little bit, and then you get hurt downfield on a scramble. I thought we did a good job of containing him. I think from a special teams perspective, Alex suffered a little bit. He's still been inconsistent this year. But I think other than that particular performance, I think you've got 6 different units on the special teams, and I think the 6 units performed well. I think from an offensive perspective, frankly, I think it was our best offensive effort. But we're turning over the ball with fumbles. We can't do that. I think everybody on our offensive staff and our offensive team is well aware of that. But across the board, I thought it was a really good effort, and I was very pleased with it.
How special is this defensive unit to give up 9 points in the last 3 games here?
Well, that's been great progress, I think, for our defense, especially from where we were a year ago. Remember, we talked about this in the spring. I said I thought that the defense was significantly improved. I said coming out of preseason, I thought that our defense was already better than what our defense was a year ago, and I think that has been the case. Anything else on Elon? Okay, then, are you interested in any of my thoughts on Furman?
Yeah.
Bring them.
Okay. I think first you got to look at what they've been able to accomplish so far this season. From a defensive perspective, they're the number 1 pass defense in the country. Period. They're the number 15 overall ranked scoring defense in the country. So there isn't any question. I think our offense has the work cut out for us. We have our work cut out for ourselves on offense. From a defensive perspective, from our defensive perspective, in terms of what they're doing, everybody's aware that they lost their quarterback in their opening day against Gardner-Webb. The kid that has been playing and his backup, while they're young, they both seem to be talented athletes. What they lack is experience. They still have the ability to be able to throw the ball, and they have the ability to be able to run. Their quarterback is their leading rush attempt guy. We can't be effective on defense and not always know where he is. What we think about a little bit is the ability. We can't give an inexperienced quarterback easy plays. So he comes out on a naked, for example. He can't have the ability to either run or pass. We've got to be able to take that away from him. If we are coming on a rush, we've got to make sure that our lanes are disciplined. So he just doesn't. He may not be able to do the coverage right because of his experience, but he sees an open gap in front of him, and he just takes off. We can't give a good athlete who's inexperienced those types of opportunities. So we're aware of that on defense. They've always been sound special teams. They run kind of the more of a pro style punt, and it's a little different than what we've seen up until now this season. But it's what they've run in the past. I think they're certainly sound in terms of special teams. One last point: their offense last year against our defense created all sorts of problems for us with the perimeter run game. So just if you look at last year's film and their ability to attack our perimeter, if I'm their offensive coordinator, I am certainly going to challenge us with regard to that. So I think we have our work cut out for us across the board.
What's your take on the turnovers and what's different this year and how you go about correcting that?
I think if you're talking about a fumble, I think that a fumble to me is more mental than it is anything else. Once in a while, it's a unique sort of hit, but what you're doing is you're usually fighting for extra yardage. You're trying to get a breakaway. You're trying to get that extra yard, and in so doing, you're up a little longer, and you're just not protecting the ball. Every one of our guys know how to carry the ball. Every one of our guys will always fight for the extra yardage, but not every one of our guys are always thinking, I'm in traffic, I'm trying to fight for that extra yard, but I got to protect the ball. So protecting the ball becomes a mental part of the game as well as a fundamental part of the game, and I think we've got to do a better job of that. Period. I mean, I expect us to do a better job of that. I expect us to be, by the end of the season, a team that doesn't turn the ball over or doesn't hurt themselves with penalties. That's what I expect us to be able to do.
You mentioned, Sarah, that you're not afraid to go to Ryan Granger if you need to. What's your leash, your patience level with Alex right now?
No, Alex has been our guy. He had a great 2 years for us, and it has been his job from the beginning of the year. But because he has struggled with his inconsistency, nobody, including Alex, would expect us to just blindly sit there. And if our starter is struggling, we've got to be able to make a change. But we're still going with Alex, but we're also prepared to make a change if indeed Alex continues to struggle. And Alex is aware of that.
What is it about this Furman defense that I mean, statistically they're up there, but I mean, what do they do on the ground that's tangible that makes them, you know, such a threat?
You mean their defense?
Your defense, yeah, did I say?
Well, where they're really a threat, Mike, is their pass defense. You know, they really do a good job. I think they give you different disguises. I think they give you different types of blitzes. I think they've got some pretty good athletes. I think they mix up the coverages. But I think if you're going to play us, you've got to be able to take away both the run and the pass. And if they overplay one phase of the game, I think we'll take advantage of the other phase of the game. I think that's the way we go into any game. I think with Alex's experience as quarterback, I think he also understands that. So he's able to kind of get us out of certain calls, for example, if he feels that the defense is overplaying a particular call. But where they've been very, very successful is just their overall pass defense, and the pass defense has been outstanding because they make good plays, they have good athletes, they do mix up their coverages. Mind you guys, this guy should be something tough. Let's go.
Here you go, here's one.
Sorry?
Let's go back to Alex again. You put him in as a punter after you took him out as a kicker. Why?
Because we had the game in control, and he's our backup punter. So it's not uncommon at all for us to go to a backup guy after our game has out of reach one way or the other. When the outcome of the game is no longer in doubt, I think we will always have a tendency to wind up going to our younger guys. And in this case, he's not the younger guy, but he is the backup punter. And for him to get a little experience in game situations, if indeed he's ever needed there, is important. One had nothing to do with the other.
Okay.
And that's a good question.
I was reading
That's a tough one. That's
I
a
was
good one.
reading way too much into it.
There's nothing to read into that.
Coach, you said you're still with Alex, staying on that train, and that he's your guy. But you know, say you have a game like A&T where it was, you know, within less than a touchdown, and you got to have that kick. I mean, are you still going to go with him in that situation? Because we also what field goals meant in Florida State Clemson. It can make a difference in a ball game.
You know, number one, I don't care at all about Florida State Clemson. Number two, I totally agree that field goals can make a difference in a ball game, and we have our guy. But he's been inconsistent this year. If he continues to be inconsistent, that's not going to be okay. You will need to make a change.
Alex Ross was sitting up here just before you.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah, he was.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
I doubt
you
it.
were late. Anyway, he says that you guys are poised to peak right about now. That's what he senses anyway. Do you agree with that? I mean, this is your last
I can
deal
certainly
before
see
coming.
that. I can certainly see that. I think we've gotten a little bit better each week. I thought our Florida A&M game was a good one for us. I thought our recent game with Elon was a better one for us. I think the offense has hurt itself with either penalties or has hurt itself with turnovers. Clearly, we don't look at it. We look at ourselves as a disciplined team, and we don't expect to have penalties consistently. We expect to not have penalties on a consistent basis, and we don't expect to turn the ball over. Now, we know that's going to happen once in a while, but that can't happen the way it's been happening. So if we're able to just improve those things on offense, I think we've done a good job moving the ball both on the ground and in the air. And I think with Alex's experience at quarterback, remember, his experience is only getting better. So when we talked about he beginning his second season really as a starter, he had 15 starts under his belt. Just the more you have that type of experience, the better you kind of see what's going on in the field, the better you anticipate. He's always worked hard in terms of getting ready during the week, looking at film. So that part improves as well. So his experience improves as time goes on, and hopefully we become a little bit more disciplined and a little bit more consistent with regards to ball security. Those things happen on offense. I think the offense starts to play the way I think it's capable of. From a defensive perspective, we are absolutely a better defense than we were a year ago. And there's still some things we have breakdowns on, but what we're doing a much better job of, we're fixing those things. So we just continue to make that type of progress on defense. We will continue to improve, I think, as the season winds up going on. And we just need a little bit more consistency in our special teams from our specialists. And I think our team can come together, but we haven't quite done that yet. We're playing hard and we're doing well, but we haven't quite come together as a team yet.
You're a tough guy, 31-3. You haven't come together?
We don't pay a whole lot of attention. Remember I said I was very pleased with our effort. Thought we did a good job, but you talked about the question that Alex answered, and I'm still not sure he was up here. But the question that Alex had answered, and I can see that. I can see that. I'm not dissatisfied with the effort that we've had so far, and I'm certainly not dissatisfied with our results. But I don't think there's anybody on our team that